This looks like it might be a kind of a problem. Yes. It's definitely a problem that we need to fix. Alright, today I'm going to show you how to replace the differential cover on your vehicle. But this is a GM vehicle, but the process is just about the same on any vehicle, just different bolt sizes. These things you're going to need here are the appropriate gear oil for your differential, some gasket sealer, possibly some gasket maker, new cover with gasket, socket extension, appropriate socket to take the bolts off, gasket scraper, possibly a hammer, and a torque wrench. You're also going to want a catch container, which I have back there. Okay, the first thing you want to make sure you do here is make sure that your drain filler plug is not seized up, because if you were to undo all of this and you realize that plug is seized up, you'd have a lot of trouble. You just have to add more work to yourself. Usually these plugs are they're a square bit, so you take an extension here, a 3/16 or 3/4. Oops. Let's see what your filler plug looks like. Is like that. Now you set your catch container underneath the back cover so you can catch whatever oil's in there, if there's any. You begin taking the bolts out one by one. Again, having made sure that you have a bolt here at the top, you can start to pry the cover off. May need a hammer. In fact, yes, you're going to need a hammer. That's slowed enough, you can take the rest of the cover off. You can now remove this last bolt. And lucky for us, all the old gasket came off with the cover. Now that that's slowed down to a nice crawl, we gotta start cleaning the surface here, prepping for the new gasket. Pull the oil off as best you can. Oops. Okay, now that we have the old cover off, you want to get your new cover here and do a dry fit of the gasket. Make sure that's going to work. And as you can see, it's not exactly perfect, but it is close enough where it should work. What we're going to do is we're going to take some of this high-tack gasket sealant and we're going to put it all the way around here so the gasket can adhere to it. This stuff is messy, goopy stuff, so make sure you're wearing nasty clothes and use it in a well-ventilated area. And you let it sit for a few minutes till it's sticky. Okay, now that this is dried for a few minutes, you can carefully get the seal on, making sure the bolt holes line up. You do not want to make a mistake here. Go slow, do it right. And make sure it's firmly seated all the way around. Don't want any leaks. Oops. That's okay. And let it sit for another few minutes. Okay, now that the cover is sealed up, the gasket is on the cover, it's time to move to the rear axle, the differential case here. You want to make sure that all the oil has stopped dripping, at least for enough time for you to reseal this. See? Now we take this same high tack and spread it all over the case here, where the gasket's gonna fit. Remember, nice even coat, nice dry coat, light even coat. Okay, remember, let it dry for a few minutes. Okay, now that we have let this dry for a few minutes, it's time to get the cover back on. This is a little tricky, which requires two hands. Okay, what I did is I got the top bolt in there, so we have a place to line it up. Okay. Hold her in there for a minute just to seat everything. Again, putting your bolts back in. Now what I'm going to do for a little extra security is run a dab of silicone or gasket maker across the bottom here, just to make sure that there is no chance of it leaking out. Alright, now you want to make sure everything is touching the cap. Okay, now we wait for a few more minutes. Okay, now that we have all the bolts finger tighted, it's time to torque them down. If you don't have a wrench, it's not the end of the world. Just try to get them even, and you have to torque them in a star pattern, very similar to a tire. I will put up a diagram to show you. But for this particular vehicle, it's 22 foot-pounds, very low torque. And for all that to set up, get our oil here ready. Again, you have to check with the manufacturer, see what kind of oil you need. This one needs 75 W90. We went with the royal purple because it was on sale and the same price as the other stuff. Another neat thing that we found while we were getting oil was this little pump. So we're going to give that a whirl, see how she works. Hopefully it'll make the job of pouring the oil back in there a little easier. They make it for quart and gallon size, so it should just slip right into there. Stick that in there. And ironically, this stuff is purple. That's interesting. There it is. The pump. Great idea. So you can see, now that we got everything tightened around, we double checked it a few times. It's time to put fluid back in. The fill hole is right there.